the Partial Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Episode 139 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. I'm co-host Junior, accompanied by co-host Nick and producer Vince on this fine Sunday, January 25th, 9:52 p.m.
Wow, you even gave the time. What about the seconds?
I don't have them available right now.
Okay.
Was impressive how you did that intro without moving your mouth. You and Nick have a talent.
We're still fighting through some technical issues, it seems.
You better believe it. Let's hope that insurance calls sooner than later.
So there's about 10 seconds left in quarter number 4 for
No,
Seattle.
it's finished.
And
It's finished.
Is it finished?
Yeah.
So Seattle Patriots
Seattle
final?
Patriots final.
Okay.
Hi, Tanya.
And ladies and gentlemen, the traditions continue.
Oh, grrr.
Tanya continues to find her way onto the podcast.
She's trying not to
Honestly.
pee herself right now, probably.
Honestly, sometimes I ask myself, I really do.
Oh my God.
Well, it's been an interesting week, guys. Like, I find there wasn't a lot of news coming out of this week. There was a nice fight between Oliver Moore and Nikishin. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
There was Nylander giving the finger to the camera. That happened
Marner's
today.
return.
Marner's return to Toronto. So there's kind of a few Toronto-centric storylines there, I guess. Montreal still having goalie issues,
It's going
even
in
though
a
they
spiral.
sent down Fowler. So there's quite a bit to talk about this week when we thought it was going to be a pretty dead week in terms of news.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump into it, shall we?
Well, let's do our Odd Man Rush sound, because we figured out a way to do it.
The full
Sort of.
version.
Oddman Rush.
All right, Junior.
The Odd Man Rush, where we take news, notes, and trends of the NHL and turn them into 30-second takes, which usually last 3 minutes. This segment is sponsored by Sportira. www.sportira.com for all your sports apparel and team uniform needs. At sportira.apparel on Instagram. Give them a follow. You can't go wrong. Okay, guys, like you said, it was a busy week, but let's start with, usually when there's a coaching change, you get a boost. But did you ever think there'd be a huge boost for a GM move? The Buffalo
Junior.
Sabres are 15-3-1 since
Hey,
firing
Junior.
their GM. Go ahead.
Sorry, you weren't. You weren't moving your mouth.
I was trying to. So if you guys are watching on video, Junior seems to have some lag when it comes to him talking. So you don't see his mouth moving. So we apologize to those of you listening on audio. We're interrupting Junior here, but it's like a ventriloquist dummy. Like when you shove your hand up his wazoo and you make him talk. That's what it sounds like. That's what it looks like right now. But yeah, those of you that are on YouTube, please like and subscribe because this is entertainment, my friends.
I'm telling you.
Okay, basically what I was getting at was you usually get a boost from a coaching change, but never have we seen a boost like this from a GM change. So the Buffalo Sabres are currently 15-3-1 since firing their GM and are third in the Atlantic Division. Nick, I'll start with you. What can you make of this Buffalo Sabres? Are they for real?
Well, one thing that fellow listener Adam says, which is actually I find is very accurate, it's the players on the ice that play the game. It's not the coaches, it's not the GMs, right? So it shouldn't lead to such a big boost necessarily. And was it really a wake up call for them? Or they really, really disliked that GM for so long that they couldn't wait for him to be gone so they could actually start playing again. I don't know what it is, but somehow something's working in Buffalo. And I feel bad for Buffalo fans because I saw the interview with Pagula when he was talking about the Bills and how he promoted their GM in the NFL and fired their all-star coach because he just never got it done in the playoffs, even though he made the playoffs 8 out of 9 seasons. Anyways, all this to say is that your owner's kind of wacko, and I feel bad for you.
But you can also say, I don't know who, I don't remember who was saying it on the radio, but they were taking into comparison what's happening in New York with the New York Rangers on how their downfall is going like epic. Their epic downfall is happening because of Drury putting Goudreau on waivers because he didn't want to get traded to San Jose, so he put him on waivers, and San Jose picked him up. That did the same thing with Trouba, and then Trouba just said trade me to Anaheim, and then kicking like apparently the dressing room in that Rangers dressing room is like chaotic because of that. So a GM could easily bring in, like good or bad vibes. So I'm guessing this GM was just. It's not. It's more. It's more like what was Adams doing that that the players like all of a sudden turned on the switch that he's not there anymore because they didn't change coach. It's still it's still rough as their coach. Yes, they got a bit healthier and their goalie started to give them more saves than at the
Well,
beginning of the year.
these players seem to want to play for this GM and not necessarily play for when Kevin Adams was there. I think it's a loser mentality that he had. But not only that, GMs usually when they come in, they set a standard, they set a culture, they try to build a culture.
Mm.
And clearly Kevin Adams did not do that. And maybe Kekalainen's voice resonates more than Adams's ever did.
Yeah, so I just want to. I don't know what the saying is exactly, but um, rot starts from the head. So if your leaders are rotten, the rest of it's all going to trickle down to the rest of your team. And I
Yeah.
think that's what Kevin Adams, unfortunately, Pagula and Adams, that's kind of what they brought to the Buffalo Sabres. My understanding is that they had fired half of their coaching and half of their analytics staff when they got there. He kicked out all kinds of people from the head office. He was trying to do everything himself.
Wow, reminds me of
Um,
Mark Bergevin.
so, like in that sense, that's a rot that started in the head office, and it just trickles down.
Okay, so from a GM boost to possibly a defenseman boost in Toronto. Rumors are flying out there that Dougie Hamilton is obviously available, Toronto being one of the most serious contenders. Is this a good fit, Vince? And how does even how can Toronto even make this work in terms of salary? By the way,
Yeah,
Hamilton has been on fire of late.
yeah, because he's been playing on PP1 and getting the minutes because Luke Hughes is hurt. So um, Toronto can't make this work, no matter what anybody says. They just can't salary wise. It's just impossible unless New Jersey takes retention. But I think it'd be a wonderful fit for Toronto because I don't think Morgan Riley is a guy who can contribute on the power play one. And like looking at that power play, the one thing they need is a quarterback in the back, which I think Doug Hamilton could do very well. So the way this trade works is New Jersey has to retain no matter what, but Toronto doesn't have many assets either. So what are you giving up? Are you giving up Cohen? Are you giving up Danford? It's Danford, right? The defenseman.
Yeah.
Like that's the two prospects that have any value. They have no first this year because they give it away already. So I don't know how they would make this work, but just to start off the conversation, New Jersey would have to retain. That there's no discussing that because Without the retention, they can't fit them. They can't fit him under the cap.
Nick, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Not really. I mean, I think retention is probably going to be in there somewhat. I don't know if it's going to be a 50% retention necessarily. And don't forget, they're probably going to have to send salary back in the deal as well. It won't just be for a pick or a prospect, I think. Um, but yes, I think Hamilton has absolutely been on fire lately. And um, he's just showing that he still has it in him to be a top power play guy, to be a top offensive player on a team. Um, Now he just needs the right situation to go into because obviously with New Jersey, it's just not there the situation right now.
Yeah, I mean, Tanev might be season ending. They haven't confirmed that yet, so that'll alleviate 4.5 million. But like you said, either they retain or they got to include another contract, like maybe a Brandon Carlo or something. Regardless, it's a lot of juggling, and I don't know if that's gonna work. Okay, but we're gonna stay in Toronto for this next topic. There was a Knight's Tale in Toronto. Mitch Marner and the Vegas Golden Knights win 6-3 and take the season sweep of the Maple Leafs. Nick, gratification for Marner, or I don't, or did he not care as much as people think?
I think it was just relief that it's over with.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he had it circled on his calendar. He knew it was coming. He sounded nervous about his reception in Toronto, and in a way, I kind of felt like the Toronto reception was okay. Like they booed him when he had the puck on the stick, and they kind of cheered for him when there was that video tribute. So that part I think is pretty good. Like to
as
be
it should
honest
be.
with you, as it should be, right? He's only on an 84 point pace though this year. Point per game pace at $12 million salary is a little bit low in
Hmm.
my standards. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like it's a new team. It's a big change. Maybe it's going to take him a little bit of time to adapt. But he's on an 84 point pace as opposed to last year with 102 points he finished. So just food for thought that maybe it's an off year for him. He only has 1 point in the last 4 games.
And a bit of comedy when his teammate tossed the jersey that wrote "sell out" to the ground before he came out on the ice. So there was a bit of drama also at the beginning of the game. But I think, like Nick said, I think he's just happy it's over with and he doesn't have to go back to Toronto this year.
And I think Matthews is happy he doesn't have to answer any more questions about it either. But you know who has to answer a lot of questions? The Montreal Canadiens about their goaltending. I think we might have a goalie problem on our hands, right, Vince?
I believe so. I think both our goalies in Montembeault and Dobish are struggling right now, and the reason that Montreal is not winning some games is because there's a lot of soft goals going on when it comes to the Montreal Canadiens. So, I mean, they're on a little bit of a not a downhill, not a spiral, but it's their toughest stretch right now of losses. They're not in the number three spot anymore. They're in a wild card spot right now. Buffalo took them over, and Boston is hot on their tails, and so is Florida. So I think they do need to get that goalie situation resolved. I think the, the Olympics can't come fast enough for the Montreal Canadiens, so they have those 2 weeks off and see if the goalies can like just reset and come back, just to like not to be like Martin Brodeur and Patrick Roy, just to be decent and save the pucks they need to save.
Nick?
The way I see it, guys, is that like last year, Montembeault had a career year. He played 62 games, won 31 of them. He had a 2.8 goals against average last year, a 902 save percentage. Um, the year before that, though, he had a 903 save percentage, but a 314 goals against average. The year before that, 901 save percentage, 342 goals against average. Like, we're not talking about necessarily somebody that was always elite. We're talking about a pretty a goalie that had a career year last year, and perhaps, perhaps it's not necessarily who he is. Um, so he needs to right the ship because right now they're all in on Montembeault and Dobish. I just feel that like his goal save above expected last year was 26.9. This year it's negative 4.6. Like that's a big difference. Um, and to say that our defense got worse, our defense actually got better with the inclusion of Dobson. Um, you know, Gooley missing wasn't great, but like, I don't know. I feel this is the deepest that we've had a defense in a very long time, and yet still we're kind of having this issue. And he has an 870 save percentage right now. Like
Mm.
that's not NHL caliber. I don't know. I don't know.
According to Money Puck, it's actually negative 7.8 goals saved above expected. But the game against the Bruins was Exhibit A of what's been happening with the Montreal Canadiens. The goalie actually played a pretty good game, and then the third and fourth goal the Bruins scored were absolute bananas, like goals that shouldn't go in on a National Hockey League player, goaltender.
Those are
So
the type of goals that I used to score when I was playing ball hockey. And listener Mavs is going to remember this very well. Listener Bats as well. Listener Bamia too. Basically, I would take slap shots, and they would just be bananas. They would go ooh, doom, and go in the net somehow. At least I scored, but yeah, it's not great for Montembeault.
Nick's glory days.
you know who should maybe eat some more bananas? Bill Guerin,
Junior, I
who
think Junior, sorry, I
What he has
think
the runs?
Junior, I think every time you're looking at something on your computer, you freeze.
It's okay.
ah,
We're not going to mention every time he freezes because it's not.
I
It's
will.
not.
but
No,
does the
it's not
audio
relevant for
freeze?
the audio. No, the audio is
No,
perfect.
no, it's
Okay,
the
so yeah,
perfect.
let's just okay.
It's just YouTube that matters in this case.
So my poor segue there with the bananas. Bill Guerin chooses Jackson Lacombe to replace who got hurt there for Team USA?
Seth Jones.
Seth Jones, and everyone's pulling a hissy fit, saying he should have probably taken Lane Hutson. What do you guys think,
Well,
Nick?
Yeah.
not everybody's pulling a hissy fit. Montreal fans are pulling a hissy fit.
No, 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 not just Montreal fans. A
But
lot of
this okay.
reporters
So yes,
don't
report, but
understand.
this is okay. So this is my thing. I'm a Lane Hudson fan. Montreal Canadiens. I think he's a great, fantastic defenseman. Now, if you tell me Quinn Hughes got hurt, then Lane Hudson is your replacement. But right now you have Seth Jones that got hurt. Lane Hudson cannot replace Seth Jones on that team, and what they expected Seth Jones to do on that team. Okay, Seth Jones was not going to play on power play one, was not going to play on power play two. Seth Jones was going to be there to be a defensive pillar and a big body. US is going in there going to try to intimidate the other teams. That's their goal. That's why they have so many. They took so many big players and big defensemen. So I mean, we can all scream and yell till we turn blue in the face. Defensively, Hudson is improving, but he isn't what other players are. His talent is being an offensive defenseman. And unfortunately, on this US team, you already have Quinn Hughes and you have Wawrinski. And listen, you could debate that he should have been there instead of Wawrinski, maybe. But, I mean, for them to, I understood why they took Jackson Lacombe over Lane Hudson when it comes to this. This is almost a debate. Remember in 2014, Team Canada with PK Subban? PK Subban had won the Norris the year before in 2012, 2013. In 2014, Team Canada, he wasn't even on the radar for Team Canada. They just took him as an extra player and didn't even play a game, I think, or he played one silly game. And people were outraged. And then you look at the Team Canada defensemen that year. There was Duncan Keith, Shea Weber, Drew Doughty, Jay Bouwmeester, Pietrangelo, and the one guy that they were saying PK should have been in front was Marc-Edouard Vlasic. But what people realized is defensively, Mark Vlasic was at that point 10 times better than PK defensively. And that's why PK never saw the ice. So I feel this is the situation that's happening with the US team. As a Habs fan, I'm glad Hutson didn't make it. He's been struggling. You see his struggles in the past few games, and I think he needs that 2 week break to come back regenerated for to end the year and for that playoff push.
Just what was Seth Jones's role going to be on this team? I'm curious, in your
Uh,
opinion.
Third role defenseman, play on the PK.
Okay, because -2 this year, -24 the year before, -15, -38,
Okay,
-37,
but
-18. He
Junior, what
has
team do
one
you play
hit.
with?
He has listen. He has one hit per game. He's not what people think he is. And I'm not saying Hutson should have replaced him. I agree with you. If you tell me Quinn Hughes or Orensky get hurt, then Hudson's the guy, right? At the end of the day, Lacombe is the eighth defenseman. He's not going to play anyway. Where they went wrong, I think, is Caulfield, but that's a story for another
Yeah,
day,
but
I
that's
guess. Yeah, Nick, but I just want to say, like Seth Jones, you're saying, the role he's going to play, who's going to play it? Lacombe's not going to play Seth Jones's role.
well, if they need it, yeah, he's gonna play that role. It's gonna be that role. Who else is gonna play that role?
Well,
Okay, so
Faber's their shutdown guy for sure with Charlie McAvoy. And Jacob Slavin. Those are their shutdown defensemen.
yeah,
Okay,
I think Lacombe is a poor man's Slavin,
yeah, no,
basically.
But Seth Jones, was he even in their top six defenseman, or was he the seventh defenseman on Team
He
USA?
probably wasn't going to be a top six. No, I don't
Okay,
think.
so why even people complaining even now? If he's not even the top six, I don't even understand why the debate is going crazy like it is.
I actually think Vince said one thing that's actually really smart there. Um, he basically said that, if it was Quinn Hughes or if it was another offensive defenseman going down like
Orensky.
Werenski, that Hutson might have been more in consideration. I like that thought process. I think when you're trying to build a team, I could see why that thought process is there. Fox isn't going to make it, and I don't even know if he's healthy enough to make it. And Hutson is the other offensive guy there. So we'll see. I mean, there's still a little bit of time before the actual Olympics happen. If any other injury happens, he might be the next one up.
All right. Oh, sorry, guys. I lost the window. Okay, it's here. Okay, so from Team USA to Team Canada, if Braden Point cannot heal in time to make it for the Olympics, who do you guys have taking his spot? I know who I'm thinking about, but I want to hear from you guys first.
Nick, you can
Man,
go.
I miss Braden Point. I traded for him in one of my leagues, and it just feels horrible that he's not able to play. Um, who do I have? I don't even know who's available. I don't have the roster in front of me. Uh, you want to take a
Well,
gander there, Vince?
Well,
I would go Mark Scheifele. I would take Mark Scheifele. He's a natural centerman. He can play both ways. Uh, I would have maybe considered Bedard, but after coming back from injury, he hasn't been lighting it up. So to me, I think it's Mark Scheifele should be there. But I'm curious to see who Junior thinks it was. Who Junior thinks it should be.
I would have went to Wyatt Johnston, I think.
Oh yeah, another good option. I thought you were gonna say Sam Bennett. I'm like,
No.
I
If
can't with
it,
Tom Wilson
if
there.
it
I
was a
can't with
Tom
Sam Bennett.
Wilson, or if it was like you said,
Yeah,
like the same role type, but Wyatt Johnson, he's a good face-off guy. He's 47% on the face-off draws. He can play center. He can play wing. He's exactly what they're looking for. I wouldn't mind Shifley either, to tell you the truth.
So one thing's funny. I was watching. I think it was Berkey talking on Sportsnet. I can't remember if it was Sportsnet or if it was a podcast, but he was basically saying like, um, Team Canada, you're not here to bring in the kids. Uh, he goes, I think he said Celebrini was exceptional or something like that. But other than that, this is not a tournament for Bedards. This is not a tournament for these young guys. It's a tournament for Olympic athletes and the best of the best. So if you're telling me that the best of the best is 30 years old veterans that know how to play the game, then that's the way that Team Canada should go. All this talk about 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds making the Olympic team, unless their skills are exceptionally higher than everybody else's, should not be there. So take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, this is an older. Um, Junior would call him a dinosaur in the league, uh, talking like that. But there's kind of a little bit of a truth to it. I think that you're there to represent your country. It's not the World Junior Championship. This is the Olympics. It is a different breed and a different level of competition. So just to say, you don't need to have every 18-year-old that's a star right now in there.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to have 38-year-olds there just because you think they should be there. Sorry. Drew Doughty, what the hell is he doing on
Yeah.
this team? First of all, he's never healthy. Second of all, he has like 0 points in his last 12 games. His team is doing bad. He's doing bad. Like, what do you owe this guy? Same thing with Pareko. Like, you know, I don't think you needed both of them. You know, you could have used a young guy and let him learn experience. At the end of the day, there's always two defenses that are not going to be playing. So let them just be around the experience so they're ready for when they do get the call. Just a thought.
You mean the next time that there's Olympics?
If there ever will be, who knows?
That's it. You're bringing these guys in for experience for what? You don't even know if there's an Olympics in 4 years.
Look, the worst is they're going to be just as bad as the person they would take their spot. Anyways, moving on to maybe a player that should have been on this team, according to some anyway. Bouchard gets a hat trick this week, along with Tippett, Stamkos, Caulfield, and Brock Nelson. So another slew of hat tricks, Nick. It seems to be a weekly theme. The only player on this team who had a hat trick in a losing cause was Cole Caulfield when they lost to the Bruins this weekend. Nick, Vince, which of the three was most impressive, and is Bouchard back?
Well, I mean, you have to say Bouchard because he's a defenseman. It's rare you see defensemen get hat tricks. So I think Bouchard is the most impressive one. Is he back? Yeah. I mean, I think he got 6 points last game. I think he started the season very slow. People question that $10.5 million salary on his head. But if you look at the stats, I think he's third overall now in points and defensemen. So
Yeah, he surpassed Hutson and
yeah,
somebody
so
else.
I think he's back. I mean, we always knew he had the tools offensively to be a phenomenal offensive defenseman. It was his defensive play that was questionable, but right now, I mean, the way he started the season to right now being tied for second with 55 points and one behind Kilmacar, I think that's impressive.
Anything to add, Nick?
No, I don't think so.
So, from exceptional play to an absolute blunder, Patrick Stefan 2.0, if you will. Garnet Hathaway forgets he's in the NHL and doesn't take advantage of an easy empty net. The Mammoth come back to score and tie the game and win it in overtime. So, for those of you who haven't seen it, basically, Hathaway had an open net, unchallenged, took his time, enough time for a defenseman to come, lift his stick, and carry the puck the other way. So, um, Vince, I think you just mentioned Patrick Stefan just a few episodes ago, did you not? Maybe in the award show, you wanted to name an award. What was the award you wanted to name after him?
I don't remember. What was
And
it?
then you were going to assign it to Luke Hughes because he scored twice in his own net.
Yeah,
Anyhow, it's
it
just
was
funny how it
the
reoccurred,
most
you know?
detrimental to his team. I think that's what he called it.
I guess we have our winner for this year then. Or he's in competition with Luke. Did you guys want to touch on that or just news for the day, I guess?
I mean, it's Hathaway. He's more known for his fisticuffs and hard hits than he is for anything else, right? So, no, I don't think that there's much of a point to talk about it.
The
Poor
next,
guy.
yeah, he's gonna be on highlights reel forever. The next two guys also known for their hits, but they're also known for their offense. Matthew Tkachuk and Brad Marchand are both back. Brad Marchand with 2 goals, 1 assist in his return, and suddenly the Panthers look scary again. They're knocking on the door from a playoff spot, and at the right time because some teams like the Montreal Canadiens are starting to struggle. Are we talking? Are they back? Are the Panthers back, Nick?
I think anytime you get a Matthew Tkachuk back in your lineup, it's a big boost. Like two superstars, these guys lost right off the bat in Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk. Getting half of those guys back, I think this is definitely the way to go. Well, the way to go. A light at the end of the tunnel for them. We said it from the beginning, and I think we said it at the preseason. As long as they stay afloat, they don't care about the regular season. They just care about making it in, just squeaking in, and they're dangerous in the playoffs. I think this is gonna just solidify that for them.
Yeah, listen. I think him coming back right before the Olympics helps Florida because he gets his feet wet. Then the Olympics is going to be like his mini training camp, and then after the Olympics, they're going to come back, and Florida is going to be like guns blazing. So I think teams in the East have to start realizing that they can't have skids of losing games because there will be teams like the Florida Panthers that will catch up to them. Like we said, look, they're 59 points. Boston's at 62, and they have a game less. So if they win that game in hand, Florida is going to be at 61 points. So 1 point behind Boston, 2 points behind Montreal for a wild card spot. So I think this is a big boost, and I think Florida will be a team to keep an eye on in this right after the Olympics.
For sure. And we'll end the odd man rush with a rumor circulating, I guess, that St. Louis Blues are open to trading Robert Thomas, but the asking price is pretty big. We're talking probably a first, an A-level prospect, and then some. So, my question to you guys is, who out of the teams that really need a second line center or a first line center? So basically, who of the teams that need a center has the assets to make a trade like this for him, and what does that trade like that look like, Nick?
That's a lot of information off the top of my head, but I'll go with Detroit.
It's
Uh,
always them.
It's always Detroit. I find they have the assets to move in order to get a Robert Thomas. Who could use a Robert Thomas more than Detroit? I think not many because I just don't like their depth at center. I think you have one Larkin, and then you have a bunch of guys that are like two-way guys. Whereas Thomas could come in, be that second line center, probably even first line center. To be honest with you, I think he has more talent than Larkin, um, and could just grow with the team and put the team on his back and really like move forward with him. Like imagine Robert Thomas playing with guys like I don't know Raymond Kane, DeBrincat. Like he's the perfect setup guy for these guys. It would be amazing.
So what's going back the other way? For sure, like Axel Sandin Pelika, maybe Casper
Yeah, I think they're looking. So my
or an
understanding,
Edvinson.
yeah, that's where I was gonna go. I think that my understanding is they want more of an all around defenseman as opposed to just an offensive defenseman, and Edvinson kind of fits that mold a lot more of what St. Louis is coveting right now. Um, but there's probably gonna have to be other pieces as well, like a center prospect, maybe a Casper, maybe a something else to kind of pry a Robert Thomas out of there. Definitely a first as well. That's just my opinion.
Vince, want to take a shot at this?
Yeah, well, the two teams I'm looking at is probably Montreal and Philly. I think they both have enough prospects and players in their lineups right now that they could easily make a trade. The thing is the price worth it at this point? Are they ready to make that next step? I don't think Philly is. I think Philly is still far from making that next step to being playoff contenders. And Montreal is close, but if you look at Montreal, like you're giving up Caden Gooley for sure. You're giving up your first, and then your top prospect. Which one are you giving up? You're giving up age? Are you giving? I feel
Jorovsky.
Gerard. Yeah, I feel that yes, we were in need of that second line centerman, but uh, I don't know if I would pay the price for a Robert Thomas because we're not a Robert Thomas away from being Stanley Cup contenders. We're still
I
mo-
don't know about that, man. You get a
no.
Robert Thomas on this team,
Okay,
you're much closer to that Stanley Cup than other teams are.
Nick, you get a Robert Thomas, but what are you losing? You lose Kaden Gooley, there goes your defense.
I don't think Keelan Gooley is the person that you would trade away there.
So who are you trading
If they're
away?
looking for a Robert Thomas replacement, chances are is you're gonna have to get rid of one of your forwards in the top six currently right now to make room for him, anyways. Um, and
Well, Kapanen's probably going to be there, but I don't think that's the main
Yeah, but that's
piece.
fine.
he
That's
wouldn't
your
be the
not.
main piece. Yeah,
But
Kapanen would be there.
you said
Uh,
they needed. You
I
said they
don't think it
needed
would
a
be
defenseman.
Gooley.
Who would
Yeah,
be?
I just don't think.
Please
I
don't.
just don't think Montreal is gonna move on from Gooley there.
Please, but that's why. Please don't say Reinbacker. Reinbacker looks like one of the
Now, he's
biggest
hurt
busts.
again.
Yeah, he looks like one
He's
of the
hurt
biggest
again.
busts.
Yeah, he
So
got
you
hit in
can't
the
be.
head.
It can't be
No, you
Reinbacker.
can't say he looks like a bust because when he's been
Yeah, it's
playing in
not
the
a.
AHL, he's been good. He
Oh,
just can't stay healthy.
that's not what Marco D'Amico said. Marco D'Amico went on radio and says that it is time to worry about Reinbacker even before he got
Yeah,
hurt.
that doesn't mean that he's a bust.
As a number
You're,
5
you're putting
overall,
you're putting
Nick.
words in people's mouths. Look, the fact is that
Come on.
the
As a
fact
number,
is that yeah, okay, number five overall, fine, but it's a matter of health, not a matter of talent or skill. You go five overall because of the skill and talent that you have. You know,
no,
like
but he was struggling in the AHL. They were saying that's what I'm telling you. It's not because he didn't say because he was injured. He said this before he was injured.
he's been set back because of injury for a while now, and that's what's
I
fulfilling him
I understand, but his development is not coming to the task where it should
because
be.
he's always injured. It's
At
it's
some
all
point,
relative.
they all become together at one point. So you picked him 5 overall. There are expectations of being picked fifth overall. It's just that simple. I'm not saying he's not an NHLer. I'm not saying he can't be good on your third pairing defenseman as a defensive defenseman. I'm just saying you don't get picked fifth overall for them to expect you to play on their third pairing defenseman. So
I, I just think it's too early to say if he's going to be a third pairing defenseman or not. The guy hasn't even played enough hockey to know who he is, and that's the problem. But again, like he's going to be labeled forever as the fifth overall pick, the guy they took instead of taking Mishkov,
yeah,
But
look at
that doesn't
Kirby.
mean he's not. And that position, that role that he's supposed to play, the right-handed defenseman that's supposed to log a lot of minutes, that's a long-term developmental role. And if you're not healthy, then that gets even longer. And what's disappointing to everybody right now is that Reinbacker is not where the Montreal Canadiens expected him to be at this point in time in his career. So does that make him a flop? I don't know.
Oh, is Kirby
I
Doc a
don't think
flop?
he's going to be an elite player, that's for sure.
No, but is Kirby Doc a flop?
Kirby Doc,
He has
yeah,
all the
at this
talent in the
point.
world. This guy, man.
I
Yeah, at this
understand
point, he
that,
would
but
be a flop. He
once
would be
again,
considered not a
third
flop,
o-
but
third overall. I'm not
just
flop. He's an
a flop is like not an NHLer to me.
Yeah.
okay. So a flop is like a Yakupov or a Galchenyuk, something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but I'm putting Reinbacker.
Kotkaniemi.
Yeah, I'm putting Reinbacker in the Kirby Doc situation. Kirby Doc, third overall, can't stay healthy. When he is healthy, doesn't perform to the peak because he was, so it come one and one come together. So and St. Louis, we're talking about Robert Thomas. St. Louis is looking for a defenseman. Who's your other all-around defenseman in Montreal? The only guy you got is Kaden Gooley.
Yeah,
So
Matheson maybe, but he's older than
yeah, but he's older. They're not going to trade Robert
Yeah, I
Thomas
think
for a
if you're
32-year-old.
going to get Robert Thomas, I think Gooley has to be part of that deal.
And that's why. So if you're losing Gooley, then yes, Robert Thomas is nice to have his number 2 center, but you backed yourself up in the defensive end, and that we're already.
I think it's easier to
struggling.
find a Kaden Gooley than it is to find a Robert Thomas,
I think
especially with the
Montreal is
contract he
not.
has.
I don't think Montreal is in the sweepstakes whatsoever.
No, I don't
I
think
think
so.
I
I don't
think
think so
Detroit is
either.
the way.
Yeah.
That does it for another segment of the Odd Man Rush.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh wait,
You
You
had it,
actually have
right?
the
have
music.
anything.
Come on.
Or the gong. All right, that's good. That's our new bell. All right, a quick word from our sponsor before we get our PBLL update. The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
PBL hostility that Nick affectionately calls Pebble, but no one else likes it. Partial breakaway
Oh, how we missed that intro music, especially Nick. I mean, we have a new leader for the first time. Vito P has dropped down to second place, but just by 1.7 points. But the new leader is Dro22. Don't mistake him for Bro22. It's Dro22 with 2,054 points. 28 points behind him in third place is David Hockey. 29 points behind him is Commish Listener Bats, second team. And Bo Knowles finishes the top five with 32 points behind first place. So, in the last period that we just went through from January 19th to January 25th, the player who got the most points was Ready to Play. So, just to give you guys a heads up on what kind of team he had Macklin Celebrini, Jack Eichel, Cutter Goldsie, Kaprasov, Dorofeyev, Tage Thompson, Lane Hutson, Schaefer, and Scott Wedgwood as his goalies. So he went. Let me just go back to the thing. So this week he got 148 points, 0.7 points, and listener Cappy was right behind him, 2.9 points less than him, at 145, and his team looked a little. You know what? Almost the same. Yeah, he had Celebrini like him. He had Cutter Goldsie, Kaprasov, Hutson, Schaefer. The only difference is listener Cap. He had Askarov, Seneca, Natchez, and McKinnon. So I'm guessing his Colorado players didn't do as much as he hoped they could, and made him finish second in this period. So now, if we look at this week, is this the final week before the Olympics?
No.
No,
There's
huh?
nope. The week of February 2nd, and then the week of February 2nd is the last week.
Yeah, because February 9th there's no games. Okay.
But like some teams are only playing, it's 1 to 3 games. There's no.
Yeah, exactly. So next week we have one team who is playing 5 games. It's a team that maybe the one problem with the team that's playing 5 games is that their offense kind of dries up a bit. It's the Los Angeles Kings. They're playing 5 games, but they are on a road trip. So they start at Columbus, Detroit, Buffalo, Philly, and Carolina. So it is 5 games, but it looks like it's going to be a tough East Coast road trip. Um, After that, we have a few teams that are playing 4 games. There's Boston, Columbus, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Philly, Utah, and Vegas, all playing 4 games. The teams you should avoid this week are the Ottawa Senators and Pittsburgh Penguins and Calgary Flames. They're just playing 2 games this week. If you want to take a look at the strength of schedule, Rangers have the easiest schedule, followed by the LA Kings, Philly, Vegas, Columbus, and Islanders. So, Junior, what does your roster look like this week?
Okay, so for my junior, my junior two team, which is a top 10 right now,
And
and
Junior,
then
you finished like you finished third last week in
yeah, third or
most points
fourth.
during period, third at 138, and if you look at the 43rd player, that's me, Alien Invasion, with only 73 points, and Nick not too far behind with 87. So, yeah, Junior, why don't you just tell him what you what are you looking for this week?
This week, it's a bit different this week. There's not many teams that are playing 4 games. I'm not convinced of the all the teams that are playing 4 games, so I kind of spread it out a little bit. Um, I went with, I mean, I had Nathan McKinnon last week, and he wasn't that great. All of Colorado actually kind of went on a bit of a slump, so I'm keeping him for this week again. I'm pairing him with Macklin Celebrini. Um, Anaheim seems to have turned the corner. Cutter Gauthier is feeling it, so I'm keeping him again for another week. Morgan Geeky and the Bruins. Emil Heineman, he's playing 4 games. Bo Horvat is back, so that balances the lines a bit. So I expect Heineman to pick it up a bit more. He's on the first line. Zach Hyman, Lane Hutson, Matthew Schaefer, and Logan Thompson as my goalie. He's playing 3 games this week. Seattle, Detroit, and Carolina. So that's pretty much it for that. I kind of spread it out. I had a hard time this week, really deciding what I wanted to do, and that's what I did with my main team. And then the other team, I spread it out with other teams, But yeah, I like Dallas too this week. I'm not gonna go into details on my second team, but I like Dallas' schedule this week. St. Louis, Vegas, and Utah is who they play.
Nick?
Well, I actually like the Islanders this week, and they only play 4 times. Well, only play 4 times. They play 4 times, but twice against the Rangers, who are right now basically fighting for the last place spot in the league. They're playing against Nashville and Philadelphia, so I feel like that's a pretty easy schedule. So I didn't grab Sorokin, but I did grab Rittich, since one of those New York is a back-to-back game. I'm expecting Rittich to start one of them. I also went with Matthew Schaefer again for similar reasons. Lane Hutson is a staple on my team. I mean, this guy just puts up points. I went with Pasta, and I think that's a little bit of recency bias. I did watch him against Montreal. He just looks so good. It's so hard for me not to spend my money on Pasta. I did touch on the LA Kings. I grabbed Kempe, who was a very good contract at 5.5 million. I grabbed Lafreniere, who has a $4.1 million contract, and he scored, I think, yesterday for me. I grabbed a couple of Philly guys in Michkov and Zegras. And finally, I grabbed an Adam Fantilli, who I kind of feel like I should probably change, but probably for a Celebrini or something like that. Okay, let's do it. But I'll change it for
Live change,
Celebrini.
Fantilli
Live
for
change.
Celebrini.
Yeah, yeah. But
So for those of you
I'm feeling
listening, go
okay.
draft Fantilli.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's gonna have a hat trick guaranteed next game. He might even have 3 hat tricks in a row. That's that's how it works. When Nick makes a change, that player goes on fire. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's just what you need to know.
How about you,
So
Vince?
yeah, well, because of what Nick just said, I definitely put Fantilli in my lineup now. No, I went hard on Columbus and LA players. I think Columbus has a pretty easy schedule, so I went with a Fantilli, Voronkov, Ken Johnson. I mean, if he still knows how to play hockey, but he's on a cheap contract. Marchenko, and then went with Clark, Kempe, Fiala for LA. And we'll see what happens. I mean, I need to do something different to try to catch up. Can't go with the obvious one. So we'll see how all these changes help us. But I doubt very much they will help us. That's for sure.
So none of us were high on Vegas. Is there a reason? They're playing 4 games. They're playing Montreal, Dallas, Seattle, and Anaheim.
Oh, Seneca
No.
scored a hat trick. You can add him on the list of hat
Wow.
tricks.
Nice, and I started him this week
Yeah.
in PBLL in not PBLL
LPHL.
LPHL. I have 20 leagues.
Well, Yellowknife got 2 hat tricks back to back. Bouchard,
Did
Nelson.
you see they jumped? They jumped 2 teams.
They're wild, man. They're in third place.
They're in third place.
And they made crazy trades last year. They traded guys like Connor and Pasternak and man.
Yeah, it goes to
look.
show. You never know.
Oh, the players they got, the key pieces they got filled big holes they had, and it's helping in Gustafsson and Bouchard. But anyway, yeah.
I'm just trying to see because I think Dro 22 is not in first anymore. If I'm not
Oh, by the way,
mistaken.
did you guys mention who was only playing twice this week?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
the
did.
3
I
teams
might have
Calgary.
missed it. Okay.
So right now, listener Cappy took the lead in this week with 149 points because of Seneca. So look at that, Mr. Cappy, in first in this period. Well done. So do you guys have anything to add for listeners and people who are looking for suggestions in the Pebble League?
No, don't forget, it's just not because people are playing 5 times that necessarily that they're going to end up in first. But I am banking a little bit on that with Kempe and Lafreniere. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, guys. But I hope everybody's enjoying it so far. This has been a really fun league, and all kinds of people are kind of moving up the top and racing for that trophy. It's good. It's good so far.
Yeah, there's not much
Nick,
to add other than guys, just follow us on social media, Instagram, X, TikTok, at Partial Break Pod. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, any audio podcast platform. Give us a follow, download our episodes. Again, the easiest and best way to support what we do, because we do it for free. But we also do it because we love it. So it encourages us to keep going. So that's all we really ask for, really. So we wish you a great week.
hey Nick, why don't hockey players ever get hot?
My
Because
wife
they-
would say otherwise.
No, why don't they ever get hot?
Okay, why?
Because they have too many fans in the stands. Get it? Hot, sweating. Oh,
Guys,
Nick.
I hope you guys are enjoying this.
where's your mind at, Nick? Have a good week, peeps.
Have a good week, everybody.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.